You all remember when we said Diddy is fighting tooth and nail to make sure he doesn't go down alone? Well, it looks like his plans are finally succeeding because he just brought undeniable evidence of how Jay-Z allegedly unalived his mistress, Cathy White, to protect Beyonce. Allegedly, Cathy White got pregnant for Jay-Z and was threatening to do a tell-all interview about the affair around the same time Beyonce also announced that she was pregnant. And thinking of the absolute chaos Cathy's tell-all would be, Jay-Z made the obvious choice and decided to delete his mistress. Sources are now saying Diddy has strong evidence that can prove everything that went down, so Jay's days as a free man might be counted. Y'all better get comfy because we are about to break this down. So, there has been a lot of noise about how Diddy is planning to expose all his partners in crime from back in the day now that the lawsuits are getting more serious, and every day feels like one day closer to jail time. The latest update on Diddy supposedly ratting out everyone he has a history with is that he is exposing Jay-Z for unaliving his mistress, Cathy White, to protect Beyonce. If the name Cathy White does not sound familiar to you, it's because someone somewhere did a very good job of scrubbing her off the internet, and streets are saying that person is Jay-Z. For those of y'all that don't know who Cathy is, well, Cathy White, also known as Corey or Coriana, was a model and fitness expert who also ran her own PR firm, White Label PR. She used to hang around many celebrities, and she was actually close with a number of them, like Claudia Jordan and Jason Lee. In fact, Claudia Jordan, who has been described as a known homewrecker, used to join Cathy White in dating married men, and by that I mean stinking rich married men. Cathy herself is known to have admitted that she's here for a good time, not a long time. Unless a man has a net worth of at least 50 million, she won't pay him any attention. So, you can see how Jay-Z must have been the perfect match for her, even though they supposedly started dating long before he and Beyonce tied the knot. Rumors about the alleged affair between Jay-Z and Cathy sparked after Cathy and her BFF Claudia White were spotted at a Las Vegas nightclub partying with Jay-Z and Diddy. In fact, Jay-Z allegedly bought Cathy a $25,000 pair of Louis Vuitton shoes to wear that evening. Sources also reported that Jay was very particular about keeping the relationship low-key, so he would do things like ask her to bring a couple of friends along for a ride so it wouldn't look like they were a thing, which is what he did that evening. While they were in Vegas, Jay also reportedly took Cathy on a trip to the Bellagio casino, asking her to bring a few friends to their table. It looks like Jay was really taking care of Cathy, so much so that her friend Claudia Jordan was reportedly jealous of how Cathy always seemed to pull all the wealthier ballers and how she had over $100,000 worth of bags and $200,000 worth of shoes, and how she could just randomly buy her friend a $3,000 Louis Vuitton bag. So Jay was definitely doing right by Cathy. Well, until he started seeing her as a liability, and that's why it's interesting that in 2020, a blind item from Crazy Days and Nights said, "This A-list host model is also an actress. Our host has always stayed quiet about the death of her friend, but has become more convinced over the years that the permanent A-list rapper had her friend killed. It just seemed too convenient that he wanted her out of the picture, and shortly after he said that, the friend ended up dead." It was then revealed that the A-list host was Claudia Jordan, Cathy's friend, and the rapper was Jay-Z. Well, as the saying goes, all that happens in the dark will eventually come to light. It didn't take long for people to start putting two and two together and figuring out that Cathy was Jay's mistress. Naturally, they started reaching out to her for comments on the situation, and about 2 weeks before she passed away, a major tabloid that was investigating the Jay-Z connection allegedly reached out to her. But, and this next part is important, Cathy strongly denied all allegations of having an affair with Jay. I'm not even surprised, given the lengths Jay went to make sure things stayed under wraps. He must have really made it clear to her that the moment she breathed a word about the affair to the public, the gig was up. But either Cathy finally got tired of living a lie, or she figured that with a baby on the way, Jay-Z wouldn't dare leave her hanging. Either way, she decided it was finally time to tell her story, and she allegedly hit Jay up to tell him she was going public with the affair for a price. However, reports reaching us say that first responders to the scene felt her death was suspicious. Also, at the time the news of Cathy passing away from a brain aneurysm got out, it was still too early to know for sure that that's what really happened. Besides, Cathy was young, fit, and healthy before she passed on, so her just randomly dropping dead from a brain aneurysm was just highly unlikely. A detective from the NYPD had this to say about her death. A 911 call from an apartment 130 West 19th Street in Manhattan. An ambulance came and took Cathy because she was sick. They took her to the Beth Israel Hospital, and that's where she expired. It's too early to be speculating that an aneurysm offed her. They will be doing an autopsy later today to check out her cause of death, but someone might have given Cathy a bad drug, so they'll do a toxicology report, and we'll have to wait 2 weeks for that report. What's crazy is that the report never came through, and even though literally every detective and cop who worked on Cathy's case felt the circumstances circumstances were suspicious, her cause of death was still ruled as a brain aneurysm. Girl, it sounds like someone was out there pulling strings to get that whole thing covered up, and this brings us back to Jay-Z. Now check this out. Cathy passed away in early September of 2011. If y'all remember, this was also around the time that Beyonce announced her pregnancy with her and Jay's first child, Blue. The timing is definitely interesting, especially considering all the conspiracy theories we've heard about Beyonce not actually being pregnant at the time, but instead having a surrogate carry her baby. Tabloids at the time started speculating that Jay might have had Cathy deleted because he didn't want the fallout from whatever story she would have told the blogs to affect his marriage with Beyonce. One blog even wrote that Cathy's death has stirred up some unwanted attention for Jay-Z, with claims of a hidden love child in Trinidad and Tobago, and Illuminati theorists claiming her death was a sacrifice for the famous couple. What's even more interesting is that all the renewed attention on this case was started by someone who also believes Jay had something to do with Cathy's death, Liz Crokin. Liz wrote an extensive report about the whole thing where she talked about how she reached out to Cathy for an interview about Jay-Z. According to her, Cathy initially denied knowing or ever interacting with Jay-Z until she pulled up pictures showing her hanging out with Jay and Puffy. At this point, Cathy allegedly told Liz that she would consider doing a tell-all about the affair. Then all of a sudden, Liz couldn't get through to Cathy again, and when she finally got a hold of one of her friends, she was informed that Cathy was no more. Some of Liz Crokin's recent tweets about the situation actually brought new attention to the case. In one tweet, Liz said, "As I said in a tweet the other day to Jay-Z, I was the reporter who talked to your alleged mistress right before she died, was murdered. I know everything. I know what you did. So go F yourself, Jay-Z. There will be justice for Cathy White." What's also interesting is that it looks like Jason Lee might have been the one who originally spilled the tea about Cathy and Jay-Z's alleged affair, because Hollywood Street King reported that their sources got their information from him. Suddenly, it all starts making sense how Jason could literally try and blackmail Queen Bey in front of the whole world.
Did I tell y'all what I've done? Okay. I'm gonna tell them while Johnny puts a beep over this part of the show, so you'll never know what it is, but I want you to see their reactions, and I'm going to do it right now. Ooh. And that's where I go back to, like, we're friends in the game. We support each other.
Yeah, Jason probably has information that would ruin Beyonce if it ever got out. As y'all know, a lot of the OG hip-hop guys ran in the same circles back then and did a lot of shady things together. Apparently, while they were out there painting the town red, Diddy was collecting audio and video recordings of all the shenanigans, both legal and illegal, and he's now ready to spill all the tea. In fact, some people are saying Diddy has already started speaking with authorities, and Jay-Z might need to start preparing for the day of reckoning. Jaguar Wright recently said Diddy has released footage of Jay-Z and Beyonce at some of Diddy's infamous freak-off sessions.
Diddy done turned over tapes, allegedly with the Carters, in some freak-off, and the Beyonce high on the cocaine, and the tapes had jizz all over it. Hold on.
And now, Diddy is allegedly set to reveal all the dirty details of how Jay-Z unalived his mistress to protect his wife. And Diddy is not the only celebrity who feels the same way, because Jaguar Wright once talked about how she believed Jay or Beyonce might have done the deed and then hired people to clean it up.
Cathy White's life was taken unfairly. She actually died screaming. And the Carters are responsible. But one of them is just a little more responsible than the other. Question is, did Sean Carter delete his mistress, his pregnant mistress, because his wife was jealous? Or could it be possible that maybe his wife's temper is just a little worse than most people think? And maybe he just had to clean it up to protect the brand, see?
Anyway, it seems like fans are happy that people are finally talking about Cathy White, and some have even compared it to Kim Porter's death. Yes, I've talked about this woman for years, and it got swept under the rug. Now the light is shining. It's odd that Kim Porter died under similar circumstances. I believe all of this and that Bey profited from Jay's misdeeds. You can't outrun karma. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section below. Then check out this next video.